In the final unit of this Spanish video series, we will review many of the topics that we covered in previous lessons. The first review lesson covers nouns and the different types of pronouns. This includes nouns and articles, subject pronouns, prepositional pronouns, direct object, indirect object, and reflexive pronouns, interrogative and relative pronouns, demonstrative, possessive, and indefinite pronouns. With regards to adjectives, we will review adjective agreement, possessive, demonstrative, and relative adjectives, and the rules of adjective placement. Adverbs, prepositions, and conjunctions will be combined into one review lesson. We will review the regular conjugations under every tense and mood, as well as the regular, present, and past participle formations. Part 1 of the review of irregular verb conjugations covers irregulars under the present tense, imperfect, preterite, future, and conditional. Part 2 of the review of irregular verb conjugations covers irregulars under the present subjunctive, imperfect, and future subjunctive, the imperative mood or irregular commands, and irregular present and past participles. We will also review irregular verb conjugations grouped according to the type of verb. This includes E to IE, E to I to IE, O to UE, and U to UE stem change verbs. There are also J stem change and J spell change verbs. We have verbs ending in gir and verbs ending in ser or sir. There are go verbs and verbs with uniquely irregular present tense forms. There are verbs with a Y spell change and verbs with preterite UV, U, and I stems. We have God, and Zad verbs, and verbs ending in Nyir and Yir. Some verbs have both stem changes and spelling changes. There are true irregular verbs, and we will once more review the 12 verbs that have irregular future and conditional stems. There are irregular commands and irregular past participles. For the abridged review of irregulars, this includes present tense stem change verbs, present tense spell change verbs, verbs that have uniquely irregular present tense forms, verbs that are truly irregular in the present tense, and verbs that have multiple irregularities in the present tense. We have all verbs that are irregular under the imperfect, preterite stem and spell change verbs, true irregulars under the preterite, and all 12 irregular future and conditional stems. We have irregular present subjunctive verbs, including those with stem and spell changes, and true present subjunctive irregulars. There will be a brief review of some of the rules regarding irregular present subjunctive verbs. And we have verbs with multiple irregularities under the present subjunctive. We also have irregular imperfect subjunctive and future subjunctive verbs, irregular commands under the imperative mood, and irregular present and past participles. For compound tenses, we will review progressive tenses, perfect tenses, and perfect progressive tenses. The final lesson of this unit and this series as a whole covers the subjunctive rules. So this includes 3 of the main factors present in subjunctive sentences: the acronyms weirdo and Spock, phrases that can trigger the subjunctive, the phrases aunque, de modo que, de manera que, and como, and the subjunctive with regards to affirmation, negation, and adjectival clauses. And that sums up all of the review lessons in this final unit of this Spanish video series. As I always say, I would very much appreciate it if you could please do me a favor and share this video series with your friends and teachers. And that is all for now, so Until next time.